Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 19 of Cross Circle, the official podcast for PlayStation Source. I'm your moderator, Christian Buckley, joined, as always, by Mr. Kevin Diaz.
What's happening? What is going on, folks? How we doing?
And also, this week, we have a special guest, Lee, that is a fan of the channel.
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Very good.
First off,
to be here.
Before we get into anything, massive thank you to you, sir, Lee, for supporting the channel, supporting us when we do. Very much appreciate it.
Big
you know what I'm saying? Very, pleased for your support and all that good stuff. And nice to have you on the show,
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm honored.
Also, thank you, because up until the other day, you were the only person we could talk about today's topic. Because Kevin took his time getting into this game we're going to talk about today.
The things I do for this channel.
Well, I mean, I can't really talk because I didn't play it at all.
No. I mean, just in terms of, I had to skip class to get into the beta, but we will talk about all of that.
All right,
when
sometimes
the time arises. But
sometimes we do like to open the show with a little mini segment, a couple minutes of conversation. And Kevin told me that he wanted to bring one up this week. So, Kevin, what is your question for the show?
So here's what it is. So obviously a lot of things came out of this weekend in terms of BlizzCon, and most importantly, the main focal point of this question is the Overwatch tournaments for this weekend. I think they were on ESPN 1 or 2. I think probably 2, but they were on Twitch and everything, and I just had them on in the background because whenever it's a big esports weekend, whether it be Call of Duty or Overwatch, whatever, I just put it on the background, just have it there, just chilling, just have it there to just watch and stuff like that. And every time I see something new from Overwatch, or see another dev update from them on my sub box, or I see there's an Overwatch tournament going on, I always have this feeling of man, I wish I played it more. I wish I played Overwatch more than I already originally do, because I was pretty hardcore into it when it first came out for the first maybe 3-4 months, stuff like that, and then after that I kind of just tapered off. It was maybe once or twice a week, whatever, stuff like that. But I was wondering if you guys have games like that too. Do you have any games that you see from now and again, and you wish you had more time to play? Whether it be there's just other games that are taking up your time, or this and the third or whatever. So I was just curious about that, because definitely for me it's Overwatch. Definitely.
I'd say for me personally, it'd probably be The Division. I bought the first Division and I played the heck out of that beta. I played the heck out of that beta, man.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one, dude. Oh man.
I tried playing it, man. I could just not. I beat all the main story, but I didn't buy any of the DLC, and I just didn't get into it. And I really wish I did. And I don't know if I'll be getting Division 2 or not, but that was a game I really was heavy in. But then over the time of its lifespan, I just kind of fell off from it. I made too many characters, and I just didn't really
and it's even unfortunate because one of those games, especially one like the Division, it definitely got better over time. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It definitely got a lot better over updates and stuff like that. And the complaints early on where people thought that the enemies were sponges when they were getting shot at, they just took a lot of effort to kill, whatever. They kind of just worked that out and worked out all the kinks of the game, and it was a lot better product a couple months after release and stuff like that. So that's really unfortunate too, how a lot of times when you have a IP like this, or a game like this, where you wish you played a little bit more, just out of how it works, it obviously gets patched and gets better as the game progresses and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel that. I love The Division too. Yeah, that's another one too. That's another good example as well. But Christian, do you have an example?
It's funny you mentioned BlizzCon and Overwatch as the thing that brought on this question, because not necessarily, I don't think I really have a game that I've played before that I wish I could play more of. I feel like I have my time with Destiny. I want to get back to it at some point when Forsaken and whatever else happens with Destiny. But that's really I'm happy with the time I put into it. Same thing with well, I mean, like I still pop into Fortnite here or there, but I'm not as in as I was around season 4, 3. But
right.
Yeah, it's funny. This comes from Overwatch and Blizzard because for the longest time, for as long as or at least like maybe the past 5 years, I've wanted to get into a Blizzard game so bad, like just because I appreciate so much what they do, like the amount of work and polish they put into all their products.
Right.
And I tried WoW, but I tried it for a night. I've never been PC gaming. I've never been good at it or care about it or like it's just not my thing.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Totally.
So
I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I tried Heroes of the Storm. That also fell off of after a night. Overwatch was the first one that I thought I had a chance of doing, but again, came out at a bad time, didn't get into it. Diablo, my friend's been trying me to play Diablo forever. It's on Switch now, so I feel like this is my time to get into a Blizzard game with Diablo on Switch.
Right.
It just seems like a perfect combination. So,
for sure.
But yeah, something by Blizzard. That's just a company I've always wanted to get into.
Yeah, I mean, me, I really with Blizzard, their only IP that really like got my attention, honestly, was Overwatch. I definitely missed WoW in its heyday and stuff like that. And
Diablo, WoW was too early for me.
Yeah. Yeah. WoW was like early 2000s, stuff like that, like kind of early mid 2000s.
Still the Game Boy in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game Boy PS2.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I was young, so I definitely wasn't in the right age, bracket to get into WoW like that.
Yeah.
But Diablo, I don't know. Like I've thought about playing Diablo. I've honestly considered it. I don't know if I ever will, but we'll see.
The thing appealing to me about Diablo, and I feel like the thing that might be appealing to you about it is, it's a good game that you can shut your brain off for. It's a cool world, and it's heavy about loot. So I know you really dig Borderlands. You liked your time with Destiny.
Yep.
It seems like perfectly podcast games, you just have a game you can throw some podcasts on.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, because those games that you can just kind of shut down and just play but not fully invest all of your thought and attention to, those are definitely good for podcasting. Not doing a podcast, but listen to a podcast.
Listening.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So okay, maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll check out Diablo Immortal.
It's funny that you guys said that. It's same thing with you, Christian. I played Destiny 1. I came into Destiny 1 mad late. So I came in really late. And then I got into Destiny 2. I pre-ordered it. I was like, you know what? I'm about to go head in with this. I'm going all in. I got the whole bundle, got everything for it. And I played the heck out of it, got the first raid knocked out, and then I just kind of fell off. And I kind of wish I would have stayed playing, but I recently just got back into it. So I've been playing everything, trying to do Forsaken DLC and all that stuff like that. I was doing some of the Halloween events.
Yeah, I always love the Halloween events in Destiny.
Yeah, I always log in, and I have a pretty big clan that I'm in. It's a pretty cool clan that I'm in. I've been with them for a while now, so we have our own Discord and band, and we have raids Facebook, on Facebook. It's a pretty big group of guys and girls. So that's a game I really wish I stayed playing consistently. Yeah, that's one of the best things.
So it's funny you mentioned that though. Moving into our main topic, talking about games you can play with people, communities you can foster, things that Kevin you mentioned, the Division stuff that grows over time. Fallout 76 is
Fallout
76.
The focus of this week's podcast. So before we get into it, I think we should briefly go over the history each of us has with Fallout. My only experience with Fallout of any note is Fallout 4.
Gotcha.
I loved Skyrim when it came out. I really like Bethesda, and my brother was huge on Fallout 3 and New Vegas, so I was aware of Fallout, but it wasn't my sort of cup of tea, I preferred Elder Scrolls just because of the setting, the high fantasy, the world visually.
Yeah.
And yeah, Fallout, I know they go for it to be like really ugly and depressing, but I don't like being in that world for too long. So yeah, Fallout 4 though, I'm from Massachusetts. They got me with that. And yeah, I probably played like 20 hours of Fallout 4. I never finished the story, but I did stuff with the railroad. I like got deep enough in where I could appreciate what that game was. But yeah, that's my only experience with Fallout.
Gotcha. Okay. What about you, Paradox? Because I'll let that go last. I have very little to say about my experience. But
I feel like for me, like Christian, I'm like his brother. You know, I've been playing Fallout since Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. Even remember my brother playing the old Fallout, say back on PC, back when like in the early 2000s. Like I was too young back then, like to really like understand what was going on. But like it always like grabbed me. Like I'm a big like post-apocalyptic fan, like Mad Max and stuff like that. Like I'm really big into, you know, like the whole steampunk. Like that's just like my type of vibe of like video game. I've always preferred Fallout over like the Elder Scrolls series. That's just me. But I do like fantasy. Like I do like Harry Potter and stuff like that. I'm an overall geek in like every category. But Fallout, I'm a huge fan of Fallout. Like I love the Brother of the Steel. I love like all the factions and everything. So I'm pretty seasoned. I'm a seasoned fan of Fallout. I've been playing for a while, and I beat pretty much every Fallout except Fallout 4. That's a game I need to get back into. I'm ashamed of myself. You know, I wanted to beat Fallout 4 before Fallout 76 came out, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because there's just so much to do in these games. Like you get lost in these games, and they have like all these other games coming out, and you just get lost. You know, I'm the type of person to play a game where it's like I can play it for hours on end and like never get anything done. Like as far as like the story goes, like I can just be doing stuff like just walking around, just shooting stuff. Like that's just kind of how I play. But I'm a big Fallout fan. I think Fallout 76 is going to be something major, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah.
And Kevin, so we've talked about this I think before, probably on one of the episodes. But yeah, what's your vast knowledge of Fallout?
So, you know, it's pretty deep. Not at all. This is actually my first Fallout experience ever. So
you play Fallout Shelter?
I did, technically, if you want to call it that. Yeah, I did for like maybe hour, maybe.
Good vibes.
I have it on my Switch. I haven't played it on my Switch yet, but I have it on my Switch. I don't know if that counts at all. But yeah. So I'm just gonna I just like this whole dynamic we have going on where we have someone that, you know, is very much hardcore in the Fallout. We have someone that, you know, is in the Fallout, you know, but not as deep as the other one. And then we have me that knows nothing about Fallout. As opposed to this hour and a half I played with Fallout 76. So, so I'm going in with definitely some clean impressions, you know what I'm saying? In terms of, like, Fallout as a whole, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised in some cases, a little bit let down in others, but I think we'll see how this goes. You know?
So yeah, because of that, Kevin, I actually want to start with you. I want to know, what was it like the first hour with the game? You know, like because Fallout, from my experience with Fallout, what I've seen, it always start in your vault. Have a little, like a small story arc in your vault, then you get opened up into the world. From what I know of the 76 beta, not that way. So, like, what do you think, like, what, were you satisfied? Were your expectations met going in, starting up Fallout?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, if I would say, like, they like, kind of did what they used to do, at least from what I've heard in past Fallouts, where you do have a lot of time where you're in the vault and stuff like that, and you get all this lore and like knowledge about like what happened, etc., about your specific vault number. I think there's like a bunch of different vaults, like that's why they're numbered, I believe, if I'm wrong. So yeah, so like you like learn a lot. I think about like the people in your vault and stuff like that, and I would assume, you know, but definitely this one, it's like you have a cutscene that explains generally the whole dilemma of how we got Fallout, you know, how they built shelters, cases of a nuclear war happened, you know, so you have people in the vault that live for a lot of time, they come out, and they're meant to repopulate the world. That's like the gist of Fallout. Like they're like, you know, meant there, well, you know, they leave the vault and they're meant to rebuild and stuff like that, and, you know, kind of get the country back on its feet from nuclear fallout. You know, so there really isn't a lot of time you have in the vault in the beta. It's legit like 10, probably not even 10 minutes. Like you wake up, you're hungover from a party they had the night before the vault. So like there's like a bunch of like decorations and streamers and stuff like that. I think it was a specific. I forgot if it was the anniversary of when they got into the vault or something like that. There was some sort of event that happened where they have like this big party. So you're in there and like there is some lore. There's this woman that I forgot her name. I know Lee probably knows it.
Overseer.
But Overseer, thank you. Yes, yeah, her. I guess she's like the head of the vault, if I'm right. So so like she's obviously there's like radios around, not radios, but like different PC consoles where you can go and you get some of her perspective on how the vault's doing and stuff like that. And you know, there's I think like an accident rate where you know she has to log like if there's anything that goes wrong with one of the vault members and stuff like that, and these sicknesses, whatever. So you kind of see that. And you kind of get that lore, you know what I'm saying? And then it's really quick. Like you're only in there like you walk, you know, around the vault and then you leave straight up, right? So I guess I don't know. Like I think it would be really cool to like now like knowing kind of how it goes, how you know stay in the vault for a little bit longer and you do certain things and you know you get more lore and stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool to have that vault section kind of stretched out as opposed to how it is in Fallout 76 where it's kind of just your start point of the game, you know, like so I think it'd be really cool to have that, but I don't know, like it was cool, but I don't know, like because one of the big reasons why like you know I was so hesitant on ever playing a Fallout, you know, was that like everyone just always complained about like the engine, right? And how the game ran, you know, and like it's like jank and it's you know glitchy this and stuff like that, you know, and like fans of it, at least from what I've heard, like fans of Fallout, they were just you know a lot of them had that same type of mantra, you know, where it's like that's kind of like its charm. You know, it's like that's like what you get with a Fallout game,
right?
You
yeah,
know?
And me,
so I totally get that.
With, like Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, has bugs. I've never really thought less of Skyrim because of its bugs. You know, like it just comes with it, and I don't know if it's just because of how long I've known about Bethesda, like in my current knowledge of gaming, but yeah. Bethesda games I never really looked to be technical marvels. Like even when Skyrim came out, it wasn't the best looking game I played on my PS3, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I know some people are like, oh, 76 looks like Fallout 4, you know? But I mean, yeah, I can see where you're coming from as far as expecting like the engine to be a bit more up to standard, you know, with stuff like Red Dead or even Uncharted 4 or something, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and like it doesn't really like take away from it, but it is like a sore thumb when you're playing it. It's like, oh, like this, you know, feels a little bit like last gen. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks a little bit like last gen. Not a lot, because like the game is pretty, you know, in some instances, like especially when you finally get out of the vault, you know, it is it's a nice looking, you know, world, you know what I'm saying? It's not anything like insane like Red Dead, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But it looks, you know, it looks like an open world that looks good by a AAA studio.
Yeah, so Lee, actually now I want to ask you, since like Kevin was saying his expectations and seeing this introduction as his first foray into Fallout, as someone who's been a fan of the series for a while, what did you think of the introduction? Like, were you satisfied? Because I know, like we were talking about, Fallout games are usually lore heavy, they're exposition heavy, first chunk of the game. Most of it is in the vault, so I understand because of the mechanics of 76, because it's not story focused, because they really just want to get you going in that world. Like Kevin said, it would be a shorter time between starting the game up and getting into the open world. But presentation wise, what did you think? Do you think it was a good way to set up this version of Fallout?
I honestly think it was good for the most part. It was good. That's usually how they go about things. You know, the only game that they pretty much didn't wake you up in the vault was Fallout New Vegas and a few of the older, you know, Fallouts. You pretty much weren't, you know, coming from the vault. So
right.
I thought the introduction was pretty good. Like Pete Hines says from Bethesda, he said that this game pretty much there'll be no NPCs. So this whole game will pretty much be holotapes, terminals, you know, reading notes, letters, stuff like that. That's how you pretty much get the whole campaign and the story of the game. You know, listening to, you know, holotapes. Which the holotapes, if you guys don't know, that's pretty much how you listen. That's like the little audio clips, like little
is that
things.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Like, you put them in your little Pit Boy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
And another thing too is that you have to remember is that this takes 25 years after the bombs drop. So we're like some of the first people to come out of the vault.
I actually didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So we're like.
Interesting. Okay.
So honestly, this is a good start for someone who's firstly coming to Fallout because this kind of takes place 25 years after the bombs drop. The other Fallouts, it's like 100 years, 200 years.
Right.
Stuff like that. So it's nothing like it's like it's freshly out on the world. I mean, you'd think it would look worse than that, but due to certain places, you know, lesser nukes were dropped. Like in Fallout New Vegas, New Vegas was pretty much saved because the guy, Mr. House, he pretty much shot him out. He shot him out of the sky with his weapons. He had like a machine gun and he shot him out of the sky. So that's why if you play Fallout New Vegas or you look at New Vegas is still pretty much intact for the most part. Like the buildings are still there and everything.
Right.
But Fallout 76, I think it was a great way to start it off, and I really like how it's going. I'm kind of torn, but like the game so far, it's good. The introduction was pretty solid, my opinion at least. I know some Fallout fans who are against it, but it was solid, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, like no, because I really like didn't know, like I don't know if I just missed it or I just wasn't paying that much attention or whatever, but I didn't realize that this takes place 25 years. Is this the earliest time it's ever taken place in the Fallout game? Like is this
yes.
like it is, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, right. Because because like there were times during the beta where you get like a little bit of radioactiveness like on you, like if you like eat something that is still radioactive, whatever, and stuff like that. And does that explain like the Scorched? There was those like enemies in the beta, like were they just people that were out that had just been heavily
okay,
I don't know, they were like infected, but they were very much exposed to the radiation? Like is that kind of what it is?
Okay, so radiation, how it works in Fallout is there's two, like there's super mutants, there's ghouls, and there's feral ghouls. Now the Scorched are something in between feral ghoul and ghoul. Like if you notice, like they speak. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but they say like little things like
yeah. I heard.
Like they speak. So they have some form of knowledge. I don't know that much about them because like there's like a whole like story that goes on. It's like where they came from and how they're crazy like that. Because if you play some of the older Fallouts, I mean, you saw ghouls who were like perfectly sane, like you could talk to them and like they were like on your side. Now if you come across feral ghouls, like they're pretty much crazy, like they lost their minds, like they're crazy.
Right.
For example, if you played ghouls are people pretty much who got exposed to radiation, but like they weren't exposed enough to like where they died or they just got crazy like the feral ghouls. So the Scorched could be something that was probably infected by some type of extreme form of radiation, where it kind of gave them like those crystals like coming out of their bodies, which are green. So they could be like a different form of like ghoul, but I think they're more like more psychopathic or like have like that parasite mindset, kind of like the feral ghouls.
Okay.
Because they like they're smart to like shoot guns and everything at you, but at the
yeah,
same time,
that's what I saw, because like they definitely did attack me back in like not a like zombie manner, like where they're so brain dead, but they definitely like held their own in a way. That wasn't like they're completely.
Exactly, they're not completely stupid. So there's something called a Scorched Beast. That's like another monster. So in my head, I think there's like some type of boss down there, or like where they came from, like some type of mine or cave. That's just my theory, at least, that they're coming from there and like they're being like reproduced. There's like a lot of backstory. Like I don't want to spoil anything for you guys because like I kind of went like on this huge like like the guys who actually played on Xbox, like they really dug into like the game and like really went deep and like trying to find out stuff about them and everything. But everything was was like cut off like after a certain period of time. It was cut off. So like people try to get really really far in the game. Right. I don't want to do that personally. I don't want to do that because I don't want to spoil the game for myself. So like I took my time and I did do some things, but yeah, it takes 25 years after everything happens. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a side thing. So this is also for both of you guys. This is like, just one for both of you to answer. You two have played Fallout before. One a lot more than the other, but you guys have both played Fallout, right? Was like while you were playing a Fallout game in the past, like did you ever yearn for it to ever be a multiplayer game? Like did you ever really want to have a open world where like you can roam with your friends and do Fallout-esque things and like have a Fallout game that was multiplayer? Like so Lee, like you are definitely on board, but like was that something that you think you would have wanted, Christian? Because like you've been like kind of about Fallout 76, you know what I'm saying? Like, just based off like what we talk about, like I think you're passing up the game. I don't think you're gonna play it,
Yeah, well, the way I stand right now is so one of my friends is super into Fallout. Like I said, my brother's super into Fallout, and he just got a PS4. So if enough of my friends get 76, I can see myself getting it just to have another game to play with them.
Right.
But yeah, in terms of wanting this necessarily, I mean, again, when I was younger playing Skyrim, absolutely, I was like, oh, I wish I could play this with my friends. And then Elder Scrolls Online came out, never touched it. This is different in the fact that it's less of a MMORPG like Elder Scrolls Online was to what Skyrim is. This is pretty much Fallout 4 modded to be a multiplayer, from what I've seen at least. And when I was playing Fallout 4, I think a lot of what I liked about it was the fact that I was alone in that world, and it was just, there weren't many people out, a lot of things were dead. And yeah, it kind of like wore on me over time, but I never thought that having other people in there would solve that.
Interesting.
And my favorite thing about Fallout and my favorite thing about Bethesda games in general actually, is just stumbling onto really well-written side quests that some people have never even seen,
Right.
So that was why when 76 was shown off, the way they were talking about it, I wasn't that sold. I think there's a lot of potential to grow because it really seems like it's not shapeless right now, but it's clay waiting to be like formed into something besides a ball,
Right.
Yeah. And going off of that, the Fallout community is kind of torn between like the whole online thing. Like some Fallout fans feel like it'd be better if there was NPCs in the game.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
but it was online, but you couldn't invite 3 people to play with you. So essentially, you could play by yourself, and there'll be NPCs, but you could invite 3 friends and like play the game, that way, and still have NPCs in the game. Some people wanted that. I would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's open like it is, I'm okay with both. I'm okay with both sides of the coin, honestly.
So far,
I mean, because sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, based on this discussion, so far, do you guys think that the absence of NPCs gives you less of a direction? Like, I know from the stuff I've seen, you do get quests, gotta go here, get the water, purify the water, get supplies, bring them back to your camp. Like, you do get quest log things to update and go up for. But do you feel like the lack of NPCs or characters with personalities to interact with, the fact that a lot of the interaction with the environment for story or quest info is from terminals, do you think that leaves you wanting more or leaves you without direction?
I'll take this one. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess for me, I was honestly surprised. Like I was going into this game, with my guard up. Like I was expecting it to be worse than what it was. But in all reality, like think about it. If you're just coming out of the vault, who's really around like for you to talk to? In a way, people have been killed off. I mean, we know that. I mean, it's no coincidence. Like, oh, people just keep on dying left and right. Like, you go to this place, they died. Go to this other place, they died. Go to this other place, they left, or they fled, or something like that happened. But think about it. if we're just not getting out of Vault 25 years after the bombs dropped, who's really going to be left around besides mutants and all that stuff?
Yeah, I get the context of it. Like, I think what you're saying, yeah, I get that. Do you think, is that like appealing to you, just not having a world to explore, more like a world to claim? Because you do have a lot of agency in this one.
I like how it is now because like it's pretty much for us to kind of claim. You know, there's nobody else pretty much but us. I mean, there's no telling what they can do because post-launch content and DLC are all going to be for free. I don't know if you guys knew about that, but all this stuff is going to be for free. It's not going to be like Elder Scrolls Online where you have to pay for anything. The only thing that you can pay for is cosmetics. They have like a little store. It's called the Atomic Shop. You can go in there, you know, and you get items just for doing challenges in the game. Like, I don't know if you guys knew that, but like if you like trade with a friend, revive a friend, kill like 10 mole rats, stuff like that, you get items, you know, which you can use in the Atomic Shop. So that's the only thing that you can pretty much pay for, and you know, it's like all cosmetic. It's nothing that's game changing. They will be adding mods to the game eventually, but right now they're focusing on you know, the online thing. So I really like that. I like how it's going because it can open up the doors to many other things. You know, like there's factions in the games that we know about, like the Brotherhood of Steel, the Enclave. I joined the Enclave actually. I won't go into details how that went, but I joined the Enclave. I'm a big Brotherhood of Steel guy, but I like the Enclave as well. I'll be making multiple characters because I like how what you can do in this game, and like you may go to a different world and there may be something different going on. So I like the diversity of the servers and everything like that. But I like how it is now. I mean, I'm okay with it. I'd be more happy if it was pretty much like a game by itself where you can like there was NPCs, and you could pretty much invite your friends to come in this world with you. I mean, you can play it solo, duo, or you know, like with the whole squad. But I like where it's going because at the same time, I see where they're coming from. Is like who's really like left around. Everybody's kind of dead, and it's really up to you to do something about it because there's every faction in the game. There's Raiders, there's a Brotherhood of Steel, the Enclave. I don't even know if there's the Institute. I doubt there's an Institute in this game. I don't think the Minutemen are going to be around. Like those, it'll be new factions as well. There's like the Responders, which you guys probably know about.
Yeah, the Responders.
So do you think that going off of that too, has there been even like a hint of a thread going through your missions, or not necessarily mission to mission, but overarching story? Do you see like anything going anywhere, or is the end game just nukes from the beta? Like what you can tell at least.
Can you like rephrase that?
Yeah, sure. So do you think the like right now what you were saying about getting tidbits of stuff, is there any clear path in mind as far as like a narrative goes? Like, do you think there is an end game? Do you think there is we find someone who survived out here, or do you think it's like, yeah, okay, just keep building, get your nukes ready, and go to war with each other? Do you think there is something that's going to be a payoff, like something that happens, credits to the game, and then you keep going, or like?
Right.
I think there is an end game for sure. I think there will be. There's no way they can just have this kind of open. There will be some form of end game or like ending, but it'll continue to be like playable after you get to that ending. So I think there is an end game for this.
So based on what you've seen,
go ahead.
Based on what you've seen, do you think that? So like what you're saying again about having an end game, do you think what you've seen has helped that theory? Do you think that there is going to be enough to give players there as far as getting some sort of conclusion?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
All right.
And I recommend, reading, listening to the holotapes and stuff like that. Some people might not even do that. They're like, can I play this game without listening to holotapes? That I don't know yet because I haven't played the game enough, because it's still in beta to really fully understand everything. Because people are like, oh, let me just skip through these holotapes, let me just skip through everything and just play the game. You can do that, but you are missing out a substantial amount of, information requiring lore, what's going on. But if you're kind of lazy, kind of like how I am, just listen to the holotapes and you kind of get like a clearer idea.
All right.
But I actually enjoy that, because it kind of makes you more immersed into the game. Like, wow, it kind of puts you in the shoes of like an actual person going out, because like they're Pit Boys. That's not the latest version of the Pit Boy. That's like the Pit Boy 1000. It's not the Pit Boy 3000. So like everything is like kind of old.
Yeah.
The other vaults, like they have like he was saying, like the vaults, like there's different vaults out there. Like Vault 76 is a great vault because it's one of the only vaults that actually had you be like a civilian inside, of the vault trying to live and survive. And other vaults, like, Vault-Tec, pretty much use these vaults as like experiments. Like they would have certain vaults send people out like every 2 years, and like Vault-Tec actually put like a like a timer, and if they didn't send out if they didn't send out a person like out into the wasteland, they would they were like shut down the vault. So like they eventually had to keep on doing that, and it was kind of crazy how they were doing that, because if they didn't do it, they would cut off their water supply and their food supply. Mm-hmm. So they had to let people go like outside of the vault, and before it was all said and done,
Wait, but why? Like
there was really no reason. Like they were just doing.
Or?
Yeah, it was just all testing, and like it's kind of crazy because like none of them kind of like lived to like see the tests go through. They just had to follow these protocol, and sometimes vaults will like go into like these big wars, and like people will kill each other. With that vault in particular, by the time everything was said and done, there was like only 2 people left. So like they pretty much kicked everybody out, and there's 2 people left. Like they had to pretty much vote like who gets kicked out and who doesn't. So like it was crazy. And like if you look at Vault 101, which is in Fallout 4. No, Vault 11, I think. Vault 111, I think. I'm sorry, I'm getting them all mixed up. Pretty much how they had it is like they put most of the people in like these cryo machines, like pretty much freezing them and like waking up like 100 years later and stuff like that. They were doing experiments. That's kind of what the vaults were used for. But certain vaults, like Vault 76, was used pretty much for safety. Like pretty much stay in there, live, and then leave.
Right.
That's kind of what that was used for. Some of them were made to last longer for like 300 years. There's multiple vaults out there. Some of them are like just used for experiments. Like they were used for crazy things. Like
that's insane.
There's things we don't even know about.
Yeah,
that is insane. I didn't even know all that.
Yeah,
I didn't even know all that.
What you were saying earlier, and now after hearing that, obviously there is a lot of lore to the Fallout series. Mm-hmm. Do you think that this being your first one, are you let down by the way you've seen the story presented so far? Like, are you into the way the game is progressing? Because I know we've talked about other games before, and you typically, from what I know about your taste, you're not that into games that just like do what you want, Like you want some direction.
Yeah. I definitely want direction, and like to speak about direction in Fallout 76 as someone that was brand new into the Fallout series, I did feel like the holotapes, yeah, holotapes, yeah. Thank you. The holotapes, like, although there's no NPCs in the beta or in the game in general, those holotapes honestly do like a nice way of having an NPC be there and be in a way, but even though obviously there isn't one there, but like just they like both still fulfill the same type of role, you know what I'm saying? So like I never felt that like I was lost in the world, never felt like I didn't know what to do necessarily, like I always had like kind of another direction or another pinpoint, another indicator on the map to go to. But in terms of like story, I guess like I guess I didn't get a lot of that in this one, and again, to be fair, to be 100% transparent, I only had like an hour and 45 with the beta, because of its weird schedule that we can talk about if we want to, but the beta schedule is absurd. It's really weird. But so for that, I didn't really have a lot of time into it, and I think like definitely Lee has probably like a lot more interest in narrative, but there wasn't really a lot of like in there of that, at least that I can see, that is like a kind of end goal. Like I'm not sure if there's like a golden path campaign to Fallout 76. I could be completely wrong, and
they haven't said there is. It's just some.
I could be completely wrong. Yeah,
there is a main quest, pretty much. To my knowledge, at least, like a main quest. But you don't have to do it. It's pretty much you listen to like the overseer. Like you pretty much follow the overseer because she left like a few hours before you did. Before everybody wakes up, she had to go out first and see what it was.
Yeah.
And come to find out, spoiler.
Spoilers.
It's not what they expected. It's not what they expected. Like it's way worse. Like they expected worse, but it's way worse than what they expected. Like she goes out there and she's like, man, this is crazy. Like she doesn't even go like to plan, because like when you leave the vault, like she had like her own, like they gave her instructions to do. Like she said, like screw these plans. Like we're not gonna like we're gonna die if we follow these plans. So like she did like her own thing. Right. And she laid out this blueprint for us to follow, like in her tracks, and pretty much follow her. Like she goes back to like where she lived and like all this other stuff. So like you got to pretty much follow her where she went. We don't know if she's dead or alive. She could have left somewhere. Like we don't know. Mm-hmm. That's to be found out. But listening to like a holotips, you'll find out where she's going. You go to her high school that she went to. I won't go into any more details about what's next after that.
Okay,
You're
so
pretty much just following.
It does seem like there is a thread to follow.
There is like a okay, gotcha.
All right, well that's something, you know.
Yeah. And there was setup too. I'm trying to remember. It was the task. It's very early on in the game, Lee. So probably you can help me out here. But you go out to find this guy. Obviously he's dead. And then you from looking at his stuff, whatever, and looking at his inventory and stuff like that, you learn how to go out in the world, hunt a cow, and get some steak. You know. And so, you, see some of his, I forgot if, he led a group of people or something like that, or something where...
He was a pastor, I think, or a
pastor,
preacher, right?
Yeah, something like that. He was the leader of, some group of people, and he had, this, lunch schedule, or, food schedule, whatever it was. And, it was just, Mondays, ribeye steak. Tuesday, ribeye steak. Thursday,
ribeye steak.
Yeah, it was all ribeye steak. And so, there's little things that, there that aren't, necessarily, I don't think, full on, or at least, not that I don't think, because, I don't think it is, but I just don't know. I'm ignorant. If that, has something to play with the Golden Path, the main narrative story of the game. But there are little side things that are pretty cool. Also when you first get water and you get that holotape where the lady's telling you oh, I was trying to tell everyone how to make clean water, exactly. And I started boiling it, and so you get these little tidbits, these little side stories and stuff like that. But that's about as far as I got. In the beta in terms of any story,
right?
I just got little side stuff here and there in my hour 45 with Fallout 76. Yeah. So there was the overseer and stuff like that, and I was following in her trail, what you were saying, but I didn't get anything about her narratively to push forward the main path of the game, I guess.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, like we said earlier, that was never really what they were pitching for this game. So I want to talk about that now. Fallout 76 is primarily a multiplayer online experience. So going into this, again, we all have varying degrees of interest with multiplayer games. It seems like we're all interested to see how Fallout works as a multiplayer game. So
yes,
as far as the multiplayer aspect of it goes, did you guys run into any, griefing, or because I know Bethesda has made some things that are gonna help prevent it. I know for combat, if somebody shoots at you, you have to shoot back, or else they just chip away the tiniest amounts of damage. So I think that's really cool, actually. But as far as really interacting with other people, was there anything that stands out? Do you have a standout story or an encounter, something good, something bad?
So
okay.
I'll do mine real quick because they're really
ahead.
short. Because again, I only have hour 45 in the beta. You had, I think, 6-8 hours, something like that, something crazy amount of time. So you probably have a lot more to say about this. But my interactions. So I first stepped out of the vault, and I stumbled across these three dudes, whatever, and we were just throwing up emotes. We didn't have any mics, whatever. I was off mic, so I wasn't talking. Yeah. So and then I maybe another half an hour, whatever. I'm kind of in this little run downtown, whatever, and I hear someone screaming on the mic, screaming, right? So I'm oh man, what's going on? And it was a in-game event that was going on, right? And so they were battling these really weird drones that go on the ground, whatever, and they kind of they crawl on you and do damage, whatever. And so they were handling those, but it was a lot of them, I guess. They were freaking out. So that, and then at the very end of the beta, what actually kind of prompted my session to end, whatever, and where I kind of called it quits, was that I got a little indication on the screen that was hey, what's up? We're Bethesda. Server shut down in 5 minutes. I'm oh man, that's unfortunate. So I was all right, let me just play it as much as I can in 5 minutes, and then when it closes, I'll just call it my session, right? So it was the last minute, whatever, and there was another person that was level 18, I think, right? And so we just throw emotes, everything's fine, everything's kosher. She starts shooting at me, and then I get the indication that, oh, if you want to battle her, you have to do some damage to her, and then it will throw on full damage on both you guys, and you guys can actually like battle it out. You know, so we did. I died a horrible death.
How many shots? How long after you engaged, dude? If she was an 18, and what are you, like 3?
I was a solid 3 or 4. I was level 3 or 4.
How long did you last?
Oh, it was a solid like 10 seconds. I mean, because because the server was shutting down in like a minute. So I'm like, oh, like whatever, why not? Like, let me just see how it goes. Like, let me just see what it's like. Yeah. So I got melted. And then I had the option to like to respawn near her to kind of insinuate a rematch. I think that's a cool feature to add. Or you could just respawn somewhere random, I think, or like back at the vault or something like that. So you can, have a choice of where if you want to get back and get revenge, you can, or you can just, go about your business and take the L, if you will. But that was the extent of mine, so that's
okay.
Yeah.
Now, my story's a bit funny, so okay, so and also going on what you said, like if you die, let everybody know if you die, all these things like they take is like your materials. Like they'll take like your screws and your plastic and stuff like that. They don't take your weapons or anything like that. They just take your junk pretty much. So there's nothing to be like shocked or like for like dang, like they take my special shotgun away. Like they don't take any of that. They just take your materials. So unless you trade it with them or you drop it, that's the only way they can get that. So yeah, this happened like. I think the second day, I think of the beta test for PS4 people and PC guys. I think PS4 is what I play on. So, I was sitting there, minding my business, and this guy, like he approaches me, like he does like an emote at me. He starts shooting at me, and I guess it's taking my health, but like how Pete Housen said, it's like they're kind of like slapping you in the face. It's kind of like they're kind of provoking you. Oh, they F this man. Let me just like I shot at him, and like we started shooting, and then like he almost killed me. So like. Thank God I had my friend with me. I was like, oh, bro, help me. So like I ran to him and like we just tag teamed him, and we got a bounty kill on him. So like this is the thing, when somebody shoots at you for no reason and they kill you, they get a bounty on their head, and like anybody can see this bounty on the whole world. So anybody can see this bounty, and when you have a bounty on your head, everybody wants to come kill you. So when that happens, that entices people, good doers, like my friend I was with, it entices us to like kill them and get that bounty off their head, and the bounty increases over time, I believe, as more people you kill. I don't know all the details on that, but like your bounty may increase. But pretty much killing that person, like you'll see like on the map, it says bounty like over this person's head, 10 caps, 20 caps, blah blah blah. So we did that and we beat him and we killed him. So I felt so good. I think I teabagged him or something like that. I don't know what I did. So I was like, yeah, man, what's up, man? Don't mess with me. So yeah.
I forgot what the term is, but you guys know that term in open world games where like you have those water cooler stories, I think it's called. Water cooler stories where like it's you talk about a experience in the game that you had that isn't really meant to happen, if you will. So like it'll be like, oh, I saw this guy in this overall game, and like we did this, that, entered them, and like you like talk about your experiences with the game as opposed to like the actual narrative of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I think like for like example, Red Dead has that a lot, where like we talk about how like, oh, I stumbled across this NPC and his horse kicked him and knocked him out. Like stuff like that. Where like I think those types of instances are gonna be, I think, very prevalent in Fallout 76. Those like stories that we just have were like, oh hey, I ran to this guy and he provoked me, so we got in a gun battle. So I think like in terms of like player interaction, there's gonna be a lot of that. But so like just to tie it back to griefing, whatever, I did get griefed, I guess, at my last one, but I like how there's also like an option, like so like you don't have to get into a gunfight if you don't want to,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah. So
I dig it.
I guess the last thing I really wanted to bring up and ask you guys is Lee, it sounds like you're more inclined, based on the time you put in and the way you're talking about it, that you're gonna pick this up, right?
Oh yeah, I already pre-ordered. I bought the full game and all that.
Yeah. Kevin, what about you? Like, do you think your time with the beta has swayed you either way? Because I remember you were kind of like interested in it beforehand. More interested now, less interested now that you know what it is. What are you feeling?
I feel like I'm back to where I originally was. So like I do plan to buy it. I actually have it pre-ordered, so I am gonna get it digitally, you know. But it's now how much time am I going to initially put into it when it first releases? I'm not sure. With a bunch of other games we have out, you know, with Red Dead 2 and stuff like that, like a bunch of other games. So we have a lot of games right now. So like, you know, I don't know how much time I'm gonna put into it, but hopefully, like maybe by December, if my gaming library kind of clears up, I'll definitely put some hours in there and like definitely get that, you know, taste of Fallout, whatever, you know. So I definitely feel like I'm kind of back in. Like I think I'm gonna play Fallout 76, you know. Yeah.
So that's the thing with me. Like after, I think there's only like maybe like 2 things I'll buy gaming wise for this year. I think it'll be Pokemon Let's Go Plus Edition for the Switch, and then I may get Smash. I don't think I'll get Smash though. I'm not really big into fighting games. I'll get and probably the Black Ops 4 Season Pass, and that's it. So I think I'll be done.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah, I feel that.
I think I'll be done.
I feel that. So I mean, Lee, right? Do you think I'm making a good choice? Would this be my first Fallout game? Like, am I doing a disservice to myself not playing at least like another Fallout that's a more single player experience, that's a more, you know, more, I guess, not memorable, but a more regular Fallout, I guess you could say, you know, because like there's been like a lot of debate, you know, from like a lot of people that have been saying like, you know, this Fallout is very much different than every other Fallout because of the multiplayer aspect and stuff like that. So like, do you feel like I'm missing out a lot on the traditional Fallout and what makes a Fallout a regular Fallout as opposed to Fallout 76, or like at least from how much you played, do you think I'll still get those elements that make Fallout what it is in Fallout 76?
You'll definitely get those elements, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like playing some of those older Fallouts definitely will help rekindle something inside of you, or you know, building that. But you don't really have to, honestly, because this Fallout, it has like all the aspects in some, you know, like there's hunger in this one, and there's, you know, you don't really get that in the other Fallouts unless you turn on survival mode. But that's implemented like straight off the bat. Like you have to eat food, you have to sleep, you have to, you know, watch, you know, eat and drink water. Like you have to watch those things. Like that's important. So you're definitely getting a lot of those aspects of other Fallouts. But the only thing that you're not getting in this Fallout is probably NPCs. And NPCs, they have made Fallout like some of your companions that you get in the games. Like they're talking about adding that before. But that's for us to see. You know, everything's going to be for free. So if you buy the game, you're getting everything for free from this point on. Like all the DLC and post-launch content, it's going to be all for free.
Okay.
That's to be determined. If that they can add NPCs in the game, they can do anything from this point. I mean, they're saying that this game's going to be supported for a very, very long time. It's going to be supported for a very long time.
Yeah. I looked at that quote on Twitter this morning. I forgot if it was Pete or someone else that said it.
I think Pete Hines said that.
Yeah, where he's like, Fallout 76 is meant to last like forever, like endlessly, whatever. You know, obviously cliche to say, but you know, to each his own.
And that's kind of where I stand on it all. Even after talking to you guys, like, again, never been the biggest fan of Fallout just because of numerous different reasons, but I do think that having multiplayer and having online experiences where the other players in the world make it less predictable, I think there is something there. But right now, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, like, I could see myself picking this up maybe in like April of next year, you know, once that, talking about expansions and building on what exists, once it's more of a defined thing, you know, once they know where they want to go with it. If I'm interested in it, then maybe I'm more inclined to pick it up. Maybe they add a new, not a full-blown story, but like if they add some sort of narrative thing, or if they add some sort of mechanic of making the world feel more personal. I don't know really where they're going to go with it, but if they do something like that, if I see how it goes over the next couple months, I think I might be more interested in picking it up. But yeah, like you said about them supporting it, just look at Elder Scrolls Online. That is a subscription, or it used to be subscription based, but that's still getting support, and that came out in like 2012, I think 2013. It's been a while. 2013. So
been a while.
Yeah, that's really where I stand on Fallout.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, just like my overall kind of, I guess, like thesis of Fallout, you know, of me being, you know, brand new to the series, and having my hour 45 with the beta, I thought it was fun. I thought it was. I think a lot of it for me is just like out of just intrigue. Like I'm intrigued about a lot of different things that I heard, I saw. I heard about this little thread. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's that about. You know what I'm saying? And like even the whole. So I guess one of the new factions to Fallout is the Responders, which are just hospital personnel. They're firefighters, they're cops. And like they all like banded together and just like they were, and like their kind of like whole mantra is like we are like the most helpful force in this world right now. Like we are, the best of the best, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? Like we are the top of in terms of like hospitality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think like that's super cool as well. Like how they formed their whole dilemma. Like in terms and in relation to the world as a whole. Like I just think like there's like a lot of like cool stuff in 76 that I was intrigued by. I'm just intrigued by. Yeah. So like I think that's what's gonna hook me. A lot of like the narrative stuff. Like you said, like there's definitely a lot more narrative and stuff like that, and like even the little side stuff, side stuff that we talked about as well. Like those are all intriguing to me. So I think like if anything is gonna suck me in, I think it's gonna be those aspects as well.
Yeah. I feel like for me, what's going to get me is like the fact that I can play with my friends. Like that was like the really selling point for me, the fact that I can play with my friends. I really didn't care how the game turned out. I know it's crazy that may seem like I'm a super fan of like Fallout. Like I was going to get the game regardless.
Right.
I was going to get it regardless.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So but the fact that you can play with your friends, like I was having so much fun with my friends, like so much fun. We were playing for hours, and it's surprisingly with no NPCs, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, it's fun.
Yeah,
and I'm definitely feeling it quite a bit. It's really fun. So I feel like people are kind of judging the game really, really hard. Don't always believe the critics. Like we always know that. Don't always believe the critics. Kind of see what it's hitting for yourself. Red box it or whatever the case may be. But it's not that bad of a game, honestly. It's not that bad, and they can add so much more to this game. You got to remember, this game is at the beginning of the stages, and Pete Hines said, this game is going to get molded into something way better over time. Like, there's going to be mods added to the game. There's going to be private servers added to the game eventually. And people can add, like, people are so creative, people can make up their own things with these mods. If they can add NPCs in the game, maybe there's so much they can do with this game. So I'd say stick with the game through the long run. I mean, if that's just me personally being a Fallout fan. If you like Fallout, definitely get it. Don't skip over it because you may regret it. So
yeah. And just to like lightly just touch on the whole mods thing. Have they confirmed like how they're rolling out those mods? Because I know like they got a lot of heat for paid mods back in Fallout 4 and stuff like that. So like, are they doing the same thing? Are they using the same type of back service that they did with from that standpoint, or are they doing a different approach?
From what I've seen, nothing's really confirmed yet. But
nothing's confirmed.
Yeah. So the way they did mods for Skyrim and Fallout, there were paid for Fallout. There were a lot of free ones. Depended on their it depended on the service you were going through. But yeah, I'm interested to see where mods go.
That's the thing, though. The free mods, well, the ones that weren't by Bethesda, those cut off the trophies. Like if you play Fallout 4. There's the Bethesda.net mods. I think that's what it's called. I'm not for sure. I may be saying it wrong. And then there's the mods that people make themselves. Not through Bethesda. I can't talk because people can make their own. Creators can make their own mods and approve it through Bethesda, and that's how it can get on the Bethesda website, and you can download them. But the ones that were for free that didn't go through Bethesda, those pretty much turn off your trophies. So if I downloaded like all these nature mods in winter and fall and nature mods, those turn off your trophies. You could.
So you can't even earn trophies in the game. It
disables those. But if you got them to Bethesda, which Bethesda did have some free ones, you could those didn't cut off your trophies.
I see. Okay, so mods that are made within like Bethesda's like first party tools, they're like approval. Those are cool for trophies, but any third party, if you will, like third,
like
side mods.
If a person just wants to make one, then they turn them off.
Yeah, like they had like a mod where like they had like a nude mod, and like those kind of got banned because Bethesda doesn't play that. Yeah, they had like another mod where it's like like the nude ones, like
I know with PlayStation like specifically, also anything that was copyrighted didn't fly. Like I know on PC you can mod Skyrim to be like crazy ass random characters being dragons, but you wouldn't find that on PS4.
Gotcha.
See, like, and that's another thing too. On PS4, you couldn't have like the crazy big mods because there was like a limit for a very long time. You couldn't mod on PS4. Only on X, because at first it was PC, then Xbox, then PS4. Because PS4 is being like crazy. I'm glad they're starting to lighten up, with the whole Fortnite, and cross-platform. I'm glad they're starting to come to their senses because people were getting pissed off about it. You couldn't freaking download mods. You only can download. I think still to this day, I think it's only 500 or like a gigabyte you can download of mods. I think 2 gigabytes. While on Xbox it may be bigger than that. It may be 10 gigabytes, and then on PC it's like unlimited. That pissed people off. So I want to see how they're going to be doing that with this Fallout 76, how they'll be incorporating the mods. So that's something big that pissed off a lot of people, but eventually Sony came to their senses, and yeah.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Right, so
deal.
As it stands, I guess that's Fallout 76. We're not gonna be that far away from it by the time you're listening to this. If
next week.
Yeah, because this
same day actually, Wednesday next week.
Yeah, this is dropping.
Oh wait, yeah, it is, huh?
This episode's dropping on Monday, so. Couple days away.
Yeah, look at that timing.
Couple days away.
Yeah.
So, Lee, thank you for joining us. If the people want to follow you, if you have anything to plug, now's your time.
It's the Paradox 116 on Paradox_116 on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, the Paradox 116. Yeah, if you want clean content, I'm a Christian, but I won't bash it over your head. I mean, anybody can join up, but I'm not about Bible thumpers. But yeah, if you guys want to check it out, I mean, I love PlayStation content. I love these guys. They have great content. They make pretty good stuff. I've been a fan of these guys since like the start. I've been following them since they made the new YouTube channel and everything. So I love these guys. I respect them.
100%.
Well, thank you for that.
Paradox, yeah, for real. No, I really do appreciate it. Honestly, I know, it's just words, but that really does mean a lot. It really does mean a lot. Like any type of support.
Yeah, man.
We really do appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
definitely, man. I look forward to doing more with you guys, man.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
I'm sorry about the plane over that moment, but my school's near an air base. So, Kevin, plug your stuff and I'll mute my mic.
Deal. Well, you guys can follow me on the old Twitter. You know what I'm saying? At the KDiaz123, THEKDIAZ123. Follow me on there. All my hot takes on gaming, music, etc., all the good stuff. And also you can follow me here on the channel as well. Make sure to stay subscribed to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Make sure that also, if you are interested as well, if you're a fan of Discord, we just opened up a new Discord server that you can join as well. The link will be in the description of most of our uploads moving forward, if not all of them for the most part. We will have the Discord link in the description, so you can go and hang out with us in that Discord server we opened up just to get a little bit more in tune with the fans and more just in the conversation and stuff like that. It'd be more just interactive. So you can definitely follow us on that Discord server and here on the channel, all the good stuff. And yeah.
Do you have any streams you want to plug? Anything coming up?
Any streams? You want to do a Fallout stream? Paradox? Let's do a Fallout stream, huh? That'd be fun. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm down. Opening day. Opening night. Let's do it. I'm in.
Yes, sir.
I'm in. I don't know what prop I'll wear. I don't know what any Fallout specific.
I need to buy some Fallout shirts or something, man, because I don't have anything Fallout at all. I'd be ashamed of myself.
I did a Spider-Man mask for Spider-Man. Did a cowboy hat for Red Dead, but I don't know about Fallout. I'll
dress up as Todd Howard. Just buy a curly wig, wear a black T-shirt. You'll be good.
Beautiful. There we go.
Wear a mask, like a gas mask or something. I don't know.
Right.
Something like that. Christian, where can the people find you?
If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at Chris N. Buckley. Lots of I don't even know what I'm tweeting about these days. It just depends on the day, that time of the year, everybody.
For sure.
And yeah, like I said last week, I'm doing streams every Friday now. Twitch.tv/JoyClicks. If you like Pokemon, you can check out a blind playthrough of Pokemon White. First time playing that, long-time Pokemon fan. Makes for some good reactions.
Nice.
Digging it.
Nice.
First stream was fun. So follow me on Twitter. You can find it there. See what I'm doing.
I wanted to ask, does anybody play Pokemon Go? I could put my Pokemon Go information, in my friend code, because I play Pokemon Go.
Yeah, put that in the comments. Put it in the comments.
Yeah, for sure.
We can get some friends on there. But yeah, so this was a good episode. Happy to have a member of the community join us. And as always, greatness awaits.